Hi, friends, and happy Friday. We're going to continue reading our lovely book called Small Steps. Interstate 35 goes from the Mexican border all the way up to Lake Superior, and some of the heaviest traffic is along the 250-mile stretch between San Antonio and Dallas. A steady flow of cars and trucks divides the city in Austin in half, not just geographically, but also economically. Armpit's home was in East Austin. The house was a duplex with two identical front doors that faced each other across a wide front porch, 141A and 141B. Armpit's family lived in 141B. It was just him and his parents. He had an older sister who was married and lived in Houston, and an older brother serving 8 to 10 at Huntsville, meaning his brother was in prison. A white woman and her 10-year-old daughter, Jeannie McDonald, occupied the other half of the house. $600, said Ginny. She was small for her age with skinny arms and legs. She wore glasses that were so thick it was a wonder they could stay up on her tiny button nose. 100, said Armpit. Ginny concentrated. 100, she said. That's a lot of money. Tell me about it, said Armpit. They were walking around the block. Ginny's left hand kept holding on, then letting go of Armpit. Her right arm was bent at the elbow and rigidly upright, although she wasn't aware of it. Relax your arm, Armpit reminded her. Ginny glanced at her arm as if it were a separate being from herself. It took a moment for her to send her brain signal to send the proper signals. Her brain to send the proper signals, and then her arm lowered. She reminded Armpit of a marionette who was also her puppeteer. She had to figure out which string to pull to make her arms and legs move properly. She had been born with cerebral palsy. A few neighborhoods called her a spaz, but most treated her with respect, and because she was a friend of Armpit's, and because she was willing to answer their questions. What's wrong with you? Someone might ask. If there was a taunt in the question, she never noticed. I had a bleeding inside my brain when I was born, and that seemed to satisfy whoever asked the question. She and her mother had moved into their half of the duplex when Armpit was still at Camp Green Lake. Her mother was ready to move away when she found out the boy next door was a violent criminal who would soon be returning home. She was glad now that she hadn't. Jeannie and Armpit hit it off from the beginning. She didn't fear him, and he didn't pity her. Not long after they started their daily walks, Ginny stopped wearing her leg braces, claiming they pinched her. She had a walker as well, but only used that if she needed to move quickly, like at school when they went outside for recess. But as much as Armpit helped her, she even helped him more. She gave his life meaning. For the first time in his life, there was someone who looked up to him, who cared about him. Together, they were learning to take small steps. She sings like I talk, said Ginny. How do you mean? Hands are shaking, said Ginny. They're talking about the Cara de Leon, and so in the book, you guys can't see it, but when Ginny is talking, she's stuttering a lot, probably because some words are hard to sing. So she's saying in some songs, singers will be like shaking. So she's saying that Cara sings like she talks. Armpit laughed. You know that's just a part of the song, he said. Yes, but I like it. Me too, said Armpit. So if you had the money, would you pay $55 for a ticket? Yes. How about 75? Yes. 100? No. He laughed. They paid $750 in Philadelphia. No way, said Ginny. That's what X-Ray said. You can't believe everything X-Ray says. She was right about that. You sweat a lot. With just one finger extended, she delicately touched a small circle of sweat on his arm. Yeah, well, it's hot out. I don't sweat, said Ginny. You will when you get older, and I will walk and talk better. Yes, you will, said Armpit, but sweating's got nothing to do with your disability. It's just because you haven't reached puberty yet. Ginny giggled. What's so funny? You said puberty. Armpit laughed too, not at the word, but just at her reaction to it. Ginny was still laughing as they headed up the cracked driveway to their shared house. Weeds poked up through the broken cement. What are you two laughing at? Asked Ginny's mother, who come out to the front porch. Something, said Ginny. Armpit winked at her. Ginny tried to wink back. She closed and opened both eyes together. Even though the two families lived inside it, the house was smaller than most of the homes in West Austin, where Armpit planted shrubs and installed irrigation systems. An oak tree in the front yard shaded almost the entire house. There were very few trees this size in West Austin. That half of the city was mostly built on solid white limestone with only a little bit of topsoil over it. Dirt had to be trucked in whenever Rain Creek Irrigation and Landscaping planted anything. According to Armpit's father, the cost of air conditioning the homes in West Austin, with their high ceilings and grand entrances, was greater than the amount he paid in rent. Armpit's father works in the daytime as a meter reader for the electric company. At night, he was a dispatcher for a taxi cab company. Armpit's mother worked as a checker for H-E-B, a local supermarket chain. Armpit went inside, said goodbye to Ginny and her mother, and went inside. His parents were in the kitchen chopping vegetables. "Hey, how are things going?" his father called. "They're going," Armpit muttered as he continued down the hall. "Hold on, I want to talk to you," said his father. Armpit sighed. "What about?" "Just come here." Armpit stepped into the room. "Look, I've been working all afternoon and I'm hot and dirty and sweaty. Can a person just take a shower without going through the third degree?" "No one's accusing you of anything," said his mother. "Your dad hardly gets to see you since he started working for Yellow Cab." "Fine, you can see me now," Armpit said. "I don't appreciate your attitude," said his father. "Sorry, I'll change my attitude," Armpit said, whatever that means. "What's wrong with your eyes?" his mother asked. "There's nothing wrong with my eyes. I'm tired." "How'd you get home?" his father asked. "Hernandez." The mayor we were working at the mayor's house. "The mayor shook my hand," Armpit said. "She said she admired me." "What'd she mean by that?" asked Armpit's mother. "You know, working hard, going to school. She read about Green Lake." "And how does she know you were at Green Lake?" his mother asked. "I guess my boss told her." "That's supposed to be confidential," his mother said. "Those records are supposed to be sealed. It's no big secret. Everybody at school knows. And that's supposed to make me feel better?" "I give up," Armpit said. Most parents would be proud if the mayor said she admired her son. Armpit marched off to the bathroom and he got a plastic cup and got some water. After he returned from Camp Green Lake, his parents were so worried about him. They were not going to stand by and let him ruin his life. He tried pointing out that he'd been sent to Camp Green Lake and he didn't do much wrong, but that didn't make any difference to them. Chapter 4. Armpit showered again in the morning, dried off, then ran a stick of deodorant 3 times under each armpit. He splashed his face with aftershave lotion. He only shaved every other day and put aftershave lotion on every day. There was a girl in this speech class who smiled at him a lot. Her name was Tatiana. He sprayed sploosh on his feet. He didn't have a problem with foot over, but when your name was Armpit, you had to be extra careful. He even sprayed some sploosh under his armpit. One of the guys from Camp Green Lake had sent him a whole case of sploosh. It was probably meant as a joke, but the guy's father had invented this stuff, so maybe not. They're talking about Stanley, right? The phone was ringing when he stepped out of the bathroom. It was X-Ray. "Hey, partner, you know the $600? "Yeah, I'm going to stop by the ATM after school." "Good, only you need to make it 660. I thought that you were putting up 60, Armpit reminded him. "I am," said X-Ray, "I am. The thing is, there's a $5 service charge on each ticket. So even though the tickets cost $55, they'll cost 60. That made no sense at all. Better just make it even 700, said X-Ray, just in case. 700? That'll only leave him with $157. $157 after working 3 months? That's not a problem, is it? "No, not a problem," said Armpit. "You'll still double your money," X-Ray assured him. "Guaranteed. So really, you'll be making more money this way." Oh boy, I do not like this. Okay, I want to ask you, what do you think Armpit meant when he said that having Ginny in his life was important to him? Why do you think that his neighbor is helping him want to stay on the good track of things? I will see you soon for a morning meeting. Love you guys.